Alison. I guess the reason I came today is I'm hopeful that we will get from this hearing some real outcomes. I think the whole of government employment strategy it's really good, but it hasn't had the teeth that it should have had and the outcomes that it should have had so far. And my hope is that what comes out of this will be something that I guess will hold directorates more accountable. And I think what needs to happen is ongoing conversations about the issues that have been raised today, and that I think it's important for real, transparent, honest communications rather than what normally happens, which is yay, we're doing this, we're ticking that box, we're performing here, we're whatever, but actually saying what isn't working and how can we make it work. So not just it's no good, but what can we do? And that has to be done with us as Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander staff. I'd like to see some, as one of the outcomes, our senior leaders in all of our directorates having conversations with Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander staff, and not just people in positions where there's easy access, but across the board, so that there's a more genuine understanding of the issues that we.
Ray Lacey, I'm here because I was invited, and my general manager, who is particularly supportive of Aboriginal staff and particularly committed to working at reducing the overrepresentation of Aboriginal people in the criminal justice system, told me I shouldn't be here. What I would like to see change is people's attitudes. So what I would love to see happen is for the government to educate this jurisdiction in respect to Aboriginal issues. I've heard people say there are no Aboriginal people in Canberra. And yeah, we come in all colours and shapes and sizes. And I would love to see a day when these two beautiful young women are not referred to as abos in the workplace. That really is distressing, to all of us who have had that lived experience.
The 3 trainees here all in tears.
Well, I'm here too because I've been invited. But add on to some of the speakers, I think it should be Aboriginal identified positions in the senior hierarchy that could really monitor Aboriginal people in the ACT service workforce and be supportive in Aboriginal people in their roles, and also someone up top that has a bit of nous that can have a bit of say with the politicians and the hierarchy of the public service.
Phil Mean, I'm here because of an interest and wanting to, I guess, the continued interest in contributing to change and being a change agent, not a secret agent. One of the things I'd actually like to see happen, and picks up on what a lot of people have said, and hopefully in a real way address what Anna and Deanne have both experienced recently and what we've all experienced. And you hear people talk about going to cultural awareness programs or going online to do a cultural awareness program. And, cultural awareness, cultural, whatever you want to call it, for a lot of them it stops at the end of the course. Whereas real engagement with Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people, or people from other cultures, or people with disabilities and so on, actually happens when they come and walk with us. So come to a game of football with us, come to a dance with us, come to NAIDOC week with us, come to Reconciliation Week with us, not just leave it for Aboriginal people or Torres Strait Islander people to organise and then celebrate something that is significant to us. Come and be with us the same way that senior people go to events for non-Aboriginal people, or they go to NAIDOC Week for 5 minutes and then talk about what a wonderful event and what a wonderful time it's been. That's the warm fuzzy stuff which doesn't really contribute to sustained relationships and brings about what Ray was talking about, attitudinal change.
I'm here today because I want to see change, and I just wanted it noted for the records that we've got three tearful young people here today. It just breaks my heart that we've got to sit through this, and it's got to come back this way. When our Aboriginality and our positions in our workplace should be enough to say who we are. We are all educated in our own way. Our positions are specialised enough as it is. When I got the job at Docs, I applied for the job at Docs. My certificate was my Aboriginality, and I reckon that should be a specialised thing on its own because we're all specialised workers. I'm the Indigenous Liaison Officer at the jail, proud to be out there, deadly place to work, good group of people, but still our young people's got to go through racism and discrimination. Deanne went through that school, and it breaks my heart to see her sitting here to this day, Hannah sitting beside her. One young girl had to leave, and I just want that noted, that it happened here today. And I just hope this Aboriginal community in the ACT is going to get up and start rising up because we need to be. We are a proud mob. We're grassroots level. We need to stick together and tackle this head on. And I just hope the government is not just going to be ticking the box here today. First time I met Chris Burke, he sounded like a deadly bloke, looked like a deadly bloke. And I just hope, brother, that you're going to come to the party supporting us in making big changes here today. I'd like more cultural support in all workplaces, cultural awareness, yeah, but why should... It's not our place to go out there and educate the white man on what we like. Get to know us. Don't be frightened. I'm not scary. You know, I can sit on both sides of the fence. But what hurt me today is sitting here and we've got three young people that's probably scared about what's going to happen in the backlash when they walk out these doors today and fearful of what's going to be in their workplace. And I just hope the government supports them and I certainly do hope the Aboriginal community is going to stand up and support these young people today. This was brushed under the carpet. With what happened here today, the discrimination, the racism, it's happening. It's happening. My kids went through that school. We moved down here and we was told we lived in Humphreys on top of the hill. You know, I'm not frightened of my grassroots level. I'm proud of where I'm from. You know, I'm a Dunghutti woman, born and bred on a mission, Aboriginal Reserve. My family still lives there to this day, proud of it, you know. And I'm not going to discard my Aboriginality or my identity for anybody because that's who I am and that's what makes me. But I just hope, like I said, that this government's not just going to be ticking the box from today onwards. I come because I want to be a change and part of a change. And one day I'd like to be sitting in a SOG-C position or be. My ambition's made as I, and I'm going to head for it because I know I can do it. I'm third year social workers degree. That's what I had to do to get the... I've done social work for 10 years, but I've got to get the certificate to say that I can do it, you know. Shouldn't be like that. My Aboriginality is a specialised position, and I just hope people are out there listening to this here, and you know what, be proud of who you are. You know, the government don't dictate my Aboriginality, and I'm one day, mate, I'll be up there one day. I just want you to know that.
Anna Fraser. I'm here today because of my experience with myself and my colleague. We did put in a formal complaint, which was very intimidating to do. We were lucky to have two great senior Aboriginal men in our community to help us through this whole process. We spoke to so many people. It took us so long to write our formal complaints. We finally put it in, and really, this has been going on since April. It's now December and we don't have closure to our permanent place. I personally, as a trainee, I met some beautiful, strong Aboriginal people who some have had left the traineeship program, some completed the traineeship program. I would not like to not recommend the traineeship program to any future Aboriginal person. I want it to improve for the next lot of trainees to come through, and I'm currently working at the ACT Human Rights Commission, and I was, I guess, happy to come here because going through our complaint and hearing people talking with the wider community as to why people aren't putting in complaints to discrimination issues is because people are confused, not supported, and in my current role we are going to start to do some capacity building projects which will be underway next year as to Aboriginal people in the workplace who they can contact for a good outcome of their complaint to make sure that they have support, because it is a long process, it is a daunting process, and no one likes to make a fuss. Myself and Deanne did make a bit of a fuss, but I'm proud I did it. I'm happy to do it, and I'm happy to change. The workplace that we did work in, they were able to introduce a lot of systemic issues into that workplace, which does have every member of the ACT will, in their life, go out to that workplace. Whether or not you're Aboriginal, you're Muslim, what we have done, what we have highlighted, has made it safe for every nationality, every culture of Canberra to be able to walk through those doors and feel comfortable. So I'm proud that was done. There's a lot of work done in the office with pulling up of inappropriate conversations that might be leading towards racism or bad talk about any culture. So if that's one thing we could change through this process we've been through, then I'm happy with that.
Deanne Keed, I come here today because I believe that my personal experience could somehow contribute to the change that hopefully will come. And also, I'd like there to be more support with Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people in the workplace. Not this tick the box, like someone else has said. Like, to be genuine and two-way learning. Like, I like to think that when I go into a new workplace, I'll learn and I get to know the people, but in return, not to be fake, you know. In saying that, like, I'm now at the Public Advocate's Office, and it's such lovely people, really down-to-earth, easygoing people. And I would like there to be more people like that to support Aboriginal people throughout the ACT government.
Thank you. Now, participants, I'd like to thank you all very much for being here today. It's been hard work, and I'm very proud of your contributions. I'd also remind you, just taking up one of the points that Tanya made, that the privilege statement protects you, and it would be a matter for the assembly if you were intimidated or had any repercussions as a result of your evidence today. In a few days, the committee secretary will send you a proof transcript of today's hearing, and if you've got more to say or think about things that you wish you'd said, which is something I always do, please send Trevor an email to the committee, and that will form part of our evidence. The committee's roundtable is adjourned. Thank you very much.
Thank you.